She walks into the barn and everything feels different. The wind, the silence, even the horses seem to sense it. Something big is coming to Heartland. And then it happens. Amber Marshall, the heart and soul of the series, confirms it. The first official look at season 19 is finally here. But it's not just another season. It's a turning point. And what we've seen so far, it's only scratching the surface of the emotional storm that's about to hit. Amber Marshall has always been more than just Amy Fleming. To Heartland fans, she's the anchor, the steady hand that carries the soul of the show. When she speaks, people listen, and this time, what she's revealed is enough to send shockwaves through the fanbase. In an exclusive early statement, Amber confirmed that the first scenes from season 19 have not only been filmed, but they're unlike anything Heartland has ever done before. According to Amber, the sneak peek teases a season opener that goes back to Heartland's roots but with new emotional weight. That one sentence alone has fans speculating like wildfire. What roots is she talking about? Healing through horses? Deep family bonds? Quiet, aching grief? Whatever it is, it's clear that this season isn't just continuing the story, it's elevating it. In the preview, Amy is seen in the golden morning light, standing beside a wild Mustang, her hand gently resting on its mane. No words, just emotion. That single moment says everything. Amy isn't just a trainer anymore. She's a woman who has lived through unimaginable loss and somehow still finds meaning in each day. That image has sparked dozens of theories. Is Amy returning to the sanctuary idea she once spoke about? Is she taking in a wild horse that reminds her of Ty? Amber's tone was soft but confident during the reveal, and what stood out most was her choice of words. She called this season a love letter to fans who've grown with Amy. That phrase has stuck with people. It suggests closure, full circle moments, and perhaps even the idea that we're entering the final chapters of this long, emotional journey. Another major detail from the sneak peek is the presence of Lindy, Amy, and Ty's daughter. The camera lingers on her just a bit longer than expected. She's growing up, and she's not just background anymore. She's stepping into the story, possibly carrying forward her parents' legacy. In one shot, she's seen holding the reins of a young foal, her gaze focused and determined. Could season 19 be the beginning of a shift in storytelling, from Amy to Lindy? And then there's Nathan. In the brief footage revealed, he's shown arriving at Heartland in the early morning, his truck pulling up as Amy watches from the paddock. There's a pause, a look, something unspoken between them. Their complicated relationship is clearly going to be one of the main storylines, but it's the subtle tension that has fans wondering. Are they growing closer or drifting apart? All of this comes at a time when Heartland is facing new threats. The sneak peek closes with a wide shot of Heartland Ranch, but this time, the sky looks darker. The future feels uncertain. Is it just creative lighting, or a sign of the emotional turbulence ahead? Amber also hinted at unexpected returns and farewells that will hit home. That sentence alone has sparked a frenzy. Could Ty appear in a flashback or dream? Will a beloved character leave for good? No names were given, but the emotion in her voice made it clear. This season is going to test every character in ways we haven't seen before. As we wait for the full trailer, one thing is certain. Heartland Season 19 is not playing it safe. It's digging deep into the emotions, the past, the legacy, and the uncertain future of everyone we've come to love. And if the sneak peek is any indication, we're in for one of the most powerful seasons yet. As the dust begins to settle from the sneak peek, one thing is clear. Amy Fleming is at the heart of everything. Season 19 doesn't just follow her life, it challenges it in every direction. This time, her choices are no longer just about horses or her daughter. They're about identity, loyalty, and whether love can truly grow again after great loss. Since Ty's death in season 14, fans have watched Amy struggle to rebuild her world, piece by piece. She has stayed strong for Lindy, for Jack, for Lou, and for Heartland itself. But beneath her strength is a woman still carrying quiet grief, still hearing echoes of a love that shaped her life. And now, with Nathan slowly becoming a presence in her life, those emotions are getting more complicated. Nathan isn't just a love interest. He represents something Amy has avoided for years: moving on. Their connection started out as a simple business partnership, rooted in horse training and shared values. But over time, it evolved into long conversations, unspoken glances, and emotional honesty. Yet for every step closer they've taken, Amy's heart pulls her back to Ty. And not just memory, it's guilt. Can she allow herself to feel something new without betraying the past? Amber Marshall hinted at this very struggle in a recent interview, saying that Amy is learning to let go, not of the love she had, but of the fear that there won't be love again. That line has echoed with fans because it reveals the real core of Season 19, emotional risk. Amy must confront her fear of losing herself, of loving again, and of being hurt all over. What makes this journey even more layered is Lindy. Her daughter isn't a background character anymore. She's beginning to understand the world around her. Lindy asks questions now about her father, about Nathan, about why her mother sometimes stares out the window like she's listening to someone who isn't there. Amy knows she can't hide her emotions forever. She has to explain the past without letting it trap her or her daughter. And then there's Jack, the Rock of Heartland. His role this season appears to be more emotional than ever. In a brief moment from the sneak peek, Jack is seen talking to Amy late at night by the fire. His voice is calm, but his words seem heavy. Many believe this is where Amy will finally open up about her feelings for Nathan and her guilt over Ty. Jack, who knew and loved Ty like a son, will have to help guide her through the storm, reminding her that healing doesn't mean forgetting. But just when Amy begins to allow herself a small bit of peace, the world around her shifts again. Price Beef, the powerful corporate rival, is expanding fast, and Nathan's family has deep ties to that empire. This places Amy in an impossible position. Her growing connection with Nathan now threatens the very land she swore to protect. The emotional conflict is intense. Trust Nathan and risk losing Heartland, or push him away and guard her legacy. Meanwhile, the ranch is showing signs of struggle: fewer horses, tighter finances, and whispers of selling off parts of the land. Lou is trying to manage it all with her political connections, but Amy can see the worry in her sister's eyes. Heartland has survived storms before, but this feels different, heavier, like something permanent is about to change. And then there are the dreams. Subtle, fleeting, yet powerful. Amy begins to see Ty in her sleep, standing in the field, smiling at Lindy, touching the horses he once loved. These dreams aren't just memories, they're messages. Maybe from her heart, maybe from something more. They guide her, confuse her, and sometimes give her the strength to keep going. Fans believe these dream sequences might become a recurring theme this season, offering closure, or perhaps even answers. By the end of this first act of the season, Amy is standing at a crossroads. Every direction leads to something she wants, but also something she might lose: her heart, her home, her future. As Amber Marshall described it, this is the season where Amy finally chooses. Not what's easy, but what's true. And that's why Season 19 already feels so intense. The story isn't about action or drama, it's about emotion. About watching a woman learn that love can grow from heartbreak, that strength doesn't mean silence, and that the hardest choices are the ones that shape who we become. Heartland has always been more than just a ranch. It's a symbol of family, tradition, and resilience. But in Season 19, that symbol is under threat like never before. What started as quiet business tension has now escalated into a full-blown war, one that could tear the land and the people who love it apart. At the center of this storm is Price Beef, the aggressive corporate giant that's been circling Heartland like a hawk for years. And now, it's ready to strike. Price Beef's expansion plan is ruthless, buying out small ranches, offering big money to families in debt, using legal loopholes to push traditional ranchers off their land. But Heartland has always resisted, until now. As the economy shifts and the weight of responsibility grows heavier, Lou, Jack, and Amy find themselves facing decisions they hoped they'd never have to make. Every acre of land suddenly feels fragile. Every handshake with a neighbor could be the last before they sell out. What makes this battle even more painful is Nathan's connection to it all. Though he's distanced himself from the more corrupt practices of his family's business, his last name still ties him to Price Beef. And in a small community like Hudson, that's enough to cast a shadow of doubt. Amy wants to believe in him. She wants to separate the man from the legacy. But when contracts start appearing on neighboring properties, and when Lou discovers a land agent poking around the Heartland borders, trust begins to crack. Behind closed doors, tensions rise. Lou confronts Amy about Nathan, warning her not to let emotion blind her to the reality of what's happening. Amy, in turn, accuses Lou of losing faith in the very values they were raised with. Their argument isn't just about land, it's about everything they've sacrificed to keep Heartland standing. And now, the one thing they always agreed on, protecting the ranch, has become the source of their deepest conflict. Meanwhile, Jack, the quiet observer and wise heart of the family, starts looking for other ways to secure Heartland's future. He meets with old friends, former ranchers, even considers a risky partnership to create a co-op that would keep Heartland in community hands. But time is running out, and Jack knows it. His age, his health, he's feeling the weight of the years, and the fear that he may not be around to see Heartland through this storm. In the midst of all this, Lindy begins asking harder questions. She hears the adults whispering. She notices the worried looks. She asks Amy if they'll have to move, if the horses will be okay. And it's in those quiet, painful moments that Amy realizes the true stakes. This fight isn't just about history or land, it's about Lindy's future, about the legacy Ty left behind, about making sure the next generation has something real to hold on to. Adding to the suspense are the secrets bubbling beneath the surface. Caleb, who's taken on a larger role this season, begins investigating Price Beef's latest moves and uncovers a disturbing truth. Someone close to Heartland may have leaked financial information to the rival company. The betrayal hits hard, trust fractures, and the idea that someone from within might be helping the enemy sends chills through the family. But the biggest shock of all comes near the mid-season mark. A letter arrives. Unmarked, typed, and cold. It's an offer. One last chance to sell Heartland to Price Beef for a sum that would wipe out all their debts, and then some. Lou is tempted, Jack is insulted, Amy is torn, and that's when she realizes this isn't just a test of loyalty, it's a test of faith. Amy rides out to the fields that evening, where she once stood with Ty and talked about building a future. She remembers his words, his vision, his belief that Heartland was more than a ranch, that it was a place where people and animals healed together. And in that moment, she knows selling isn't an option, not because of pride, but because of purpose. Still, the threat remains. Price Beef won't stop, and Nathan, caught between two worlds, must now choose where he truly belongs, with Amy and Heartland or with the empire that bears his name. His decision will change everything. As tensions rise, alliances shift, and the storm builds, one truth becomes clear. Season 19 isn't just telling a story. It's challenging every character to decide what they're willing to fight for and what they're willing to lose. The season's second half opens with a deeper emotional current, one that runs beneath every conversation, every decision, every silence between the characters. Amy finds herself in uncharted emotional territory. The pressure from the outside world is mounting, but it's the internal struggle that keeps her awake at night. Her bond with Nathan has grown undeniable, but so has the distance between them, pulled apart by legacies they never chose and futures they're not sure they can share. Lindy becomes a voice of quiet wisdom. In one moment that viewers have already been buzzing about, she tells Amy, "Dad would want you to be happy, not alone." Simple words, but they strike deep. Amy begins to see that holding on to the past doesn't mean staying stuck in it. That realization pushes her to face Nathan, not as a maybe, but as a man she might actually want to build something with. Meanwhile, Lou is on the verge of returning to public office. She's offered a provincial seat to fight for rural communities. Accepting it would mean less time on the ranch, but more power to protect it. Her decision could shift everything. Jack, watching the family from a distance, knows what's happening. Heartland is evolving. The future isn't about staying the same. It's about choosing which parts of the past to carry forward. Then comes the biggest shock. Rumors swirl of a returning character, someone long gone but never forgotten. No name, no face, just whispers. But for fans, it's enough to hope that maybe, just maybe, closure or even a miracle is coming. And as the season builds toward its finale, one thing becomes certain. This isn't just the end of a chapter. It's the edge of something new.